For homebuyers, lower prices are great, but higher interest rates are not. For many of us, interest rates can seem very mysterious at times. That's why I brought one of my preferred lenders, Devin Farner, here to sit down with us, and we're gonna grill him with some of these questions.
Thanks, Doug. Happy to be here, man.
So let's start off. How long have you been working in the mortgage industry?
28 long years.
So tell me this, have you ever experienced mortgage interest rates how they are now?
They're pretty crazy right now, but we've seen them around this range before.
So as mortgage rates fluctuate, many of us, including myself, are somewhat left into the dark as to why they go up and down. Can you help us understand this?
Well, let me get out my list on this one because there's a lot of factors that can definitely affect this. You got pandemic, war, who from the political affiliation, who's in office, and inflation is a big, an economic uncertainty. And right now, those are the two that we have that are driving up after a long period of rates being really low because of the pandemic.
So many of us just hear that the Fed is raising interest rates, but that doesn't directly affect mortgage interest rates. What's the difference between the two?
Yeah, you're totally right. The Fed lends short-term money to the banks, and that can seem like a direct correlation, especially when inflation is going up, so interest rates are going up. But really, different factors drive interest rates than this, but oftentimes they do work in tandem.
So if interest rates go up 1%, what kind of difference does that make in somebody's monthly payment?
Yeah, so we pulled our calculator out on this just so I'd be prepared. So a little bit more than $60 per 100,000. So we did the math on like a $400,000 loan amount. Our average purchase price about $500. Roughly about $250 a month.
I keep hearing about interest rate buy downs, and that sounds like a killer deal, but what does that actually mean?
It is a mechanism that we can use using either the buyer or the seller's money to buy a cheaper interest rate than would be available without that cost.
So are these buy downs temporary or for the life of the loan?
Mainly two categories, temporary and permanent. Permanent, you're gonna have less of an effect on the payment, but it's gonna be for the overall life of the loan. Temporary is gonna have a bigger impact, but it's gonna be for a shorter period of time. And the bottom line is we're gonna pick whichever is best for each specific customer and their specific set of circumstances.
So the question on my mind right now is, what advice are you giving to people trying to buy a home?
They need to buy if they can afford a payment and have a housing need. Rent is 100% interest anytime.
Is there ever a perfect time to buy a home, or can you time the market?
Timing the market's a tough thing. Even many experts say that they never really see it happen properly. Most people, if they have a housing need and a house is affordable for them, that's a good time to buy.
So after all we've covered, where do you believe interest rates are headed over the next 6 months to a year?
Yeah, we definitely believe rates are going to be headed down. It's the big when is the tough question right now. We're seeing some, marks of recession. And when that happens, eventually rates do go down. It's just really hard to put a pinpoint on a calendar.
We've talked a lot about what happens when interest rates go up. What happens when interest rates go down?
It causes a little bit more competition out there, and it can push prices up, which was why you have to be so careful if you're, air quotes, timing the market. Sometimes by the time that happens, your purchase price has already gone back up and you've lost out on a lot of potential home appreciation while waiting for a little bit better payment.
So let's be honest about the Boise real estate market. I firmly believe that in the next 5 to 10 years, the outlook is very strong. I'm very confident about that. Do you agree?
I do. I love Idaho. I think we've got excellent quality of life here. And it feels to me like a lot of people still want to move here.
Absolutely.
The cranes in the sky and all the companies moving in really seem to answer that question for you.
Thanks a lot, Devin, for sitting down with us. That was very useful information, and we appreciate your time. If you have any further questions regarding real estate or mortgage interest rates, feel free to reach out to Devin and I.